Blake Lively just got roasted over the weekend by Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman.
Good one, Blake. You're an asshole.
The walls are closing in on Blake Lively. The legal war between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has reached its breaking point. New court documents reveal shocking developments that could end this case and Lively's reputation once and for all. This isn't just about lawsuits anymore. It's about credibility, strategy, and who blinks first in a high-stakes game of legal chicken.
The changing of descriptions of what happened. So here we have, she talks about adding graphic content to the script, including multiple new scenes with nudity, an on-camera orgasm, and added unscripted nudity to a birthing scene for which he cast his friend as Miss Lively's OBGYN. Now,
Blake Lively's legal team appears to be rewriting history in real time. Initial court filings accused Justin Baldoni of adding nearly nude scenes without her consent, a claim that formed the foundation of her harassment allegations. But the latest documents tell a different story entirely.
What's interesting here is the mention of an on-camera orgasm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that orgasm would have been her younger version of herself. So it appears as though Blake is taking offense to things they had the younger version of Blake do.
Now, her lawyers describe these same scenes as unscripted nudity and even reference an on-camera orgasm scene. This shift in language isn't just semantics. It's a glaring inconsistency that legal experts say could dismantle her entire case.
This is absurd to use that as a way to stand up for all victims. I'm sickened by the lengths she will go to, as was Brian Friedman, who responded very well, I have to add. This convoluted statement makes it abundantly clear that Miss Lively and team are rattled and once again resorting to making inflammatory remarks to steer focus away from the actual facts.
When a plaintiff changes key details of their allegations, judges take notice. Baldoni's legal team has already pounced on this discrepancy, arguing that Lively is attempting to retroactively justify her claims by making them sound more severe than they were initially presented.
You can't just be upset that they added an orgasm scene to, and who cares if it's in the book or not in the book? This is their creative liberty. And, earlier she talked about how that this character was an underage character.
The implications are massive. If the court determines Lively exaggerated or altered her accusations, this case could be dismissed with prejudice, meaning she couldn't refile the same claims again. Even worse, she could face sanctions for what Baldoni's team is calling a bad faith litigation strategy.
When combing through the 800 pages of mess Blake Lively filed in Texas last night, it appears that Jed Wallace's health condition was outed. Now, Jed Wallace had the New York court rightfully redact his private health information, but Blake Lively and her attorney said, nah, we don't really care.
Lively's legal battle doesn't stop with Baldoni. She's also targeting Jed Wallace, a PR consultant she claims orchestrated a smear campaign against her. But here's where things get messy. Wallace has filed a sworn affidavit denying any involvement in harassment or defamation. In legal terms, that's a nuclear move. If he's lying, he could be prosecuted for perjury. Wallace's defense hinges on one critical point. He never interacted with Lively directly.
So this is Blake Lively's response to Jed Wallace's lawsuit. Now, some people go, oh, we don't care as much about Jed Wallace because he's not the famous person. We care about Justin Baldoni. But listen, he's got every much of a right to defend himself and fight for his, for his brand and for his reputation.
His argument is simple. How could he have harassed someone he's never met or communicated with? Lively's response has been to allege that Wallace worked behind the scenes, using unnamed third parties to damage her reputation. But without concrete evidence, emails, texts, or witness testimony directly linking Wallace to any conspiracy.
In Blake's response, they're saying that Jed Wallace and his company Street Relations were key players in a conspiracy led by Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and Steve Sarowitz to get back at Blake Lively for speaking out about the misconduct on set. Messages from the conspirators confirmed that Wallace and Street Relations knowingly participated in the conspiracy, understood its goals, and contributed to its success.
Her claims against him are flimsy at best. Making matters worse, Wallace's legal team has revealed that the stress of this lawsuit triggered a serious health crisis.
Apparently he has heart problems and there was some sort of cardiac event or cardiac health issue related to the stress surrounding this case.
This text message thread is of them saying how they do not use bots, and then someone in the tag team responded, "How can we say somehow that we are not doing any of this?" Melissa Nathan responded saying it doesn't. They are doing it all themselves and it's really obvious.
A detail Lively's attorneys included in their filings, potentially violating privacy norms. This has turned into a PR nightmare for Lively, with critics accusing her of using Wallace's medical history as leverage.
They add Justin and his lawyer Brian Friedman are so hell-bent on destroying Blake, they're trying to shed a law meant to protect victims and send a chilling effect to others from speaking out.
Brian Friedman, Baldoni's attorney, didn't just respond to Lively's latest filing. He eviscerated it. His rebuttal systematically dismantles her arguments point by point, but one line stands out above all others. She doesn't need discovery to find out who smeared her, just a mirror.
She does not need discovery to find out who smeared her, just a mirror will do. Oh shit! Oh my God. That is an amazing clapback. It is so spot on. That is exactly what this case is about.
This isn't just legal banter. It's a direct accusation that Lively's own behavior, not Baldoni or Wallace, caused her public relations problems. Friedman's argument is backed by a mountain of evidence, including internal communications and witness statements that contradict Lively's version of events.
She refuses to take any accountability for what she actually did do, which was promote her alcohol brand, her hair care brand, instead of focusing on the issues. She was so rude throughout anybody who asked about it. She didn't want to talk about it. And then she just blamed Sony. Well, that wasn't the plan. Girl, you took over the marketing.
Most damning? Friedman alleges Lively's team leaked documents to TMZ before formally filing them in court, a move he claims was designed to manipulate public opinion before the facts could be scrutinized. If proven, this could constitute an abuse of the legal process.
Do okay. The movie did okay. You got the backlash for what you chose to do. And that's on you. That's not Justin's fault. I fully believe this. And it's disgusting to see she's still using real victims of SH real abuse because he called her sexy. And
Lively's legal team recently submitted an 800-page filing, a move widely seen as an attempt to overwhelm the court and bury Baldoni's defense in paperwork. But legal analysts say this strategy may backfire. Within those pages, there are 3 critical weaknesses. No sworn testimony. Lively's claims rely on information and belief. Rather than facts, she's willing to attest to under penalty of perjury.
That, this is much more complicated than Blake wants to. She's trying to use this as sort of the, I'm going to stand up for all victims, so you're going to rule in my favor, and therefore all other victims will be protected.
No direct evidence linking Baldoni or Wallace to a smear campaign. Just speculation and circumstantial arguments. A suspicious push to seal financial records related to her hair care brand, which raises questions about whether her alleged damages even exist.
She's doing all this because she's, at the same time, declaring that sales plummeted because of the smear campaign. Well, then how can you say it's all confidential? We got to actually now go see if sales plummeted because of the backlash.
Judges don't appreciate being buried in irrelevant documents. If the court decides this was a tactic to delay or obfuscate, Lively could face sanctions for wasting judicial resources.
Norton, it's so clear Blake Lively's team has no real evidence to fall back on. So what are they doing? Well, they're falling back on a new California law that they are hoping is just going to silence Justin, even though there's no actual evidence to back her up.
Lively's last line of defense is California's anti-SLAPP law, designed to prevent powerful entities from silencing critics through frivolous lawsuits. She's arguing that Baldoni's defamation case is an attempt to punish her for speaking out about harassment. But there's a catch. Anti-SLAPP protections only apply if her original claims were legitimate. If the court finds she misrepresented facts or acted in bad faith, the law won't save her. Given the inconsistencies of her story, legal experts give this strategy slim odds of success.
It's wild. Mr. I Support Victims is trying to silence one, but the law won't let him. Well, here's what Blake Lively's team is declaring, okay? Blake's attorneys Mike Goltub and Ezra Hudson tell TMZ, that's right, Justin Baldoni, the man who has built his brand on supposedly speaking up for victims, believes that the First Amendment rights of victims of SA and harassment to speak out should give way to the rights of perpetrators to sue their victims into oblivion.
What happens next? Baldoni's team could file for sanctions if the court agrees Lively's claims lack merit. Wallace's countersuit could gain traction, especially if evidence emerges that Lively knowingly made false allegations. The court may dismiss key portions of Lively's case, leaving her with a weakened legal position and a battered public image. This isn't just a legal defeat, it's a reputational meltdown in slow motion. And with every new filing, Blake Lively's position gets worse.